My parents is getting older and they need help. What about if they refuse that help? Stick around, we're going to talk about it.
Welcome to Senior Care Made Simple, an elder care podcast, your guide to navigating home health care with confidence. Hosted by Andrea Albertini, founder and CEO of Horizon Care Services, an industry leader in private duty home care in South Florida. To learn more, visit horizoncareservices.com.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us again one more time. And today we have my co-host, Lucy Torres.
Back again. Good morning, good afternoon, good
evening, wherever you are. So you get to the point where mom and dad needs care. And you just found that out, right? So, but they are refusing to get care at home.
So great topic. What if my parents refuse help? This is so frustrating. And you and I are parents. So imagine in the future, our children telling us, oh, you can't stay home, or this is not safe. So I try to put myself in that situation. They're not going to tell me what to do. Would you want your kids telling you what to do?
No, absolutely not.
So it's like, how do we now talk to our parents and trying to put ourselves in their place, but understanding our parents need help? And a lot of it is that it's their independence. They value it, you know? So how do you talk to them about staying home because it's not safe without them feeling attacked? So I have to put myself in that situation, you and yours. How would we feel if the kids were talking to us? So we really have to show empathy to have these conversations, not give them ultimatums.
Absolutely. That's not the way to talk to them at all. And as you know, we do the care management here, Horizon Care Services, which is usually what happens is when we get those phone calls all the time. I really need care for my mom. I just got here from Boston, New York, wherever I'm, whatever they're from. And my mom definitely need help. I can't leave her alone anymore. I don't know what to do. She did tell me and express that she doesn't want anybody living in a house. She doesn't want anybody in a house, that she's fine. And meanwhile, she can't drive. She can barely cook, right? And in the dangers of having mom alone, and everything, medication, if there's any, do they have they're eating the right food, or is the food expire in the refrigerator,
Yes.
Are they making to their doctor's appointment?
Is the medication expired also?
Exactly. And now my mom has a car. How am I going to take the keys away from her? And
Yes.
in those things that happen, it happens we either mom is losing a little bit of her memory or just mom has all her marbles, Mom is fine mentally, but she's also physically declining.
But still wants her independence.
Right.
Still wants her independence. So it's like, how do you even start this conversation? Because here I'm sure you receive phone calls that the children say, oh, my parent doesn't need anyone yet, or they're not ready. We will call back. We will call you back when it's time for someone to come in. Because I think they retreat because they feel defeated because the parent keeps arguing that they don't need the help.
Right.
But we really know they need the help. So it's kind of, how do we make this conversation with the parent, or how do we talk to the children to speak to the parent that's in a way of empathy, that it doesn't feel like it's authority, that they're not telling the parent. Like, we should avoid phrases like, you can't, or you're going to fall, because then they're going to say, no, I'm not, I'm fine. I think if we turn it around, and I know you know this in your experience taking cases, I worry because I love you, not because I think you can't manage. So it's kind of trying to speak to them with that empathy and the compassion, and almost I feel like you having to teach the children how to have this conversation with the parent. And the reason we know is because we're in this industry, we've done it so long. Because now, again, if I go back to, if it was me having a conversation with my children, how would I react to it?
Well, here's the other thing too. You have to remember, sometimes you may need a third person, right? So when they call us here, when the children call our company and say, this is what's going on, I don't know what to do, I have to go back home, I have a family of my own to take care of, and I don't want to leave my mom here alone, right? So sometimes we have to send one of our care managers into the home to meet with the daughter or the son to be able to help the daughter or the son navigate mom and to understand that you're not losing control of your life.
Yes,
We are
that's so
trying
important.
we want you to stay home and we want you to maintain your independence with assistance. Because if I'm not here and something happened to you, then you're in a hospital and then other people are going to make decisions for you or not making decisions for you if I'm not involved. So we need to be able to think about it right now. How are we going to move forward in order to protect your mom and dad?
Okay, so they're refusing to help, and I think having the conversation lightly with them and giving them back the control allows them to be more open. Because I know that's how I would want it if it were me and the kids were telling me, even though I know they're right, I still want control because I've always been in control of their lives. Now all of a sudden they want to control my life. So it's so important when you're sending out a care manager to help identify what their needs are and helping the children have the conversation. A lot of times the kids would say to me in senior living, you be the bad guy. And what they meant was, if it comes from you telling our parent what they need or where they should be, they will listen as opposed to us.
And that's why I'm talking about a third party.
Yes,
That
absolutely.
because I feel that I was a caregiver before, and I feel that, the children sometimes, as children, are either in denial that mom and dad are, failing, either cognitively or either physically, right? So then you have siblings that, one sibling usually is the one who gets it, who understands it, and who wants to help mom. And the other sibling is the one, no, there's nothing wrong with mom, right? So you have that a lot.
A lot of dynamics.
A lot of dynamics. Yes.
You're right about that. Big part of what's going on with the parent and what's going to happen with those dynamics. So the children are sometimes arguing with each other about what's best for their parent.
And I think that one of the most important thing here is understanding why mom and dad or grandmom and grandpop is refusing help, right? So it's not just losing control, but it could be pride.
Yes.
It could also be that they feel like they're a burden to them.
Yes,
That
that's
is
a
why
big
it's
one.
so important that when you guys have this conversation with mom and dad and grandmom and grandpop, they are refusing or basically saying, no, I don't need help. I'm good. I'm fine. But they're not, is to have a third party. And I know that we are in Palm Beach. We're servicing Palm Beach and Martin County and Stewart over here in South Florida. But I'm just saying, generalizing for the whole country and the whole world that would be listening to our podcast, it's so important that, you will have this conversation sometimes with a third party person.
You want to avoid telling them they need help.
Agree.
Because when you tell them that, then they feel they need help. They're incapable of taking care of themselves. You mentioned burden. Burden is a big thing because they are also looking at the fact that you have your own family and they feel like if I go to your home, I'm going to be a burden. Where am I going to live with you? So let me just stay here alone, and I don't want you involved, taken away from your family. I can just still take care of myself. So it still goes back to the dignity and the independence that they can take care of themselves, and they feel like they are a burden to you. So how do you change that mindset for them, that they're not a burden? It's really goes back to how we're speaking to them with the empathy of, you're not a burden. You took care of me my entire life, and I would feel horrible if something happened to you. And I would tell the children that, remember, they took care of you. They feel like that's their job to take care of you, and kind of tell them, I don't know what I'm going to do if something happens to you. I need you, Mom. I need you to be okay. The children, the grandchildren need you so they can come visit you. And I think that helps with the empathy. It makes them still feel needed, and they don't feel like they are a burden. They feel it's genuinely love. It makes the conversation easier than them feeling like they're being spoken down to or they're being reprimanded. Like, you're going to fall. And we remind ourselves, and this is how we spoke to our kids,
Yeah.
stop doing that. You're going to fall. Why are you
Exactly.
climbing up there? You're going to fall.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
you remember the kids, you know, my granddaughters is every day, get down, you're going to fall. And I'm not kidding you. The more I say it, the more I get the eye. Watch me. I'm going to climb up here and not fall. Does this go back to when, you know, when we become seniors? Is that almost at the, feels
Well,
like that
you-
defiance?
Well, you know that you work in assisted living, independent living
so
for
it's like,
10 years.
You
so.
say, I'm not going to fall. And I swear, my granddaughter looks at me like, yeah, right, watch this. It's kind of like, how do I speak now to my parent? You're going to fall. You're going to fall, and they're going to get upset. So I have to remind myself, I can't speak to her like my granddaughter. I have to speak to her. My goodness, Mom, if you fall, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be devastated. What am I saying? I think if I feel like I'm worried, my mom, out of the fact that she's my mother and wants to care for me, will almost say, oh, no, don't worry about me. Okay, I won't do that because I don't want you to worry that I'm going to fall.
And
So
I
it's
think,
almost like we're playing reverse psychology, right?
oh, absolutely. I mean, for me, you know, if it was my mom, you know, I would start saying, Mom, I love you so much. I'm so glad that you live in Florida. But, I live so far away from you. And, you gotta, as now that you're aging, we have to make a plan for your safety, for you to be okay, for me not to worry about you, and for you to continue to have a quality of life with assistance. And one of the things, Lucy, as you know, that we do here, Horizon Care Services, is if they are refusal. So we have about 5 people right now that is on life management, right? So they're refusing caregiving services. So the daughters, the children took the key away pretty much, and got the license suspended. But the way we're keeping eye on them, we have a mobile physician services, and we have a physician coming in once a month and make sure that, mom and dad are okay. And plus we do a phone call. We do a weekly phone call and say, hi, Mrs. Smith, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. And so on, which I think it is very important, and following up and make sure that patient is okay. And here's the other thing: if mom and dad goes into the hospital because they were under our mobile physician practice, we're going to know about it. So we will be able to contact the children and say, hey, listen, your mom is in a hospital right now. This is what's going on. So we are that ear and eye in a home doing the life management.
That's great. You mentioned the mobile physicians is excellent because it can be a doctor, it can be a friend, even a spiritual leader can influence more than a child. It just always works this way. Like, they trust them and they will listen to them. And I think if you enlist someone that they trust, it reinforces the idea of allowing others to come in and help them. So that's a great thing, because wouldn't your parent rather listen to a physician than to us? I mean,
all day long, absolutely.
I've worked in healthcare over 25 years. And if I tell my dad anything or even ask him anything, his response to me is almost like, okay, all right. But if his doctor tells him, you need to change this medicine, or I think you need to drink more water, guess what my father's going to listen to? His doctor.
No, absolutely. And I think the other thing too is offer choices, not an ultimatum. Don't give them an ultimatum.
Exactly.
Offer choices. But I also think that they also have to understand that, that as they are aging, and especially right now, if the children found that they are getting frail, right? Physically, or they're mentally, losing a little bit, saying this is, but being honest with them. And, I'm concerned because this is what's going on with you.
And I think it's excellent that everything we've been touching on, because it really helps to explain why they feel the way that they feel.
Exactly.
Why they're either, and it's denial, it's fear. And there are so many things involved, and it's so hard for the children. But really talking about this helps understand and helps identify why they feel that way. and just understanding that is the way you speak to them and the way that you treat them. And it goes back to, yes, they are our parents, we are their children, but the tables are turning in life, but we still have to treat them with respect and dignity in order to try to make this happen for them.
Right. And the other thing is offer little things here, little things there. And what we do here, again, we profile the client, right? So we have a profile on this client. And we only doing sometimes just phonetic, or, one of our mobile clinician goes visit them once a month. And of course, it's covered by major medical insurance or private pay. And that way you create that little by little where someone will be monitoring your loved one. So if something happened, things are in place for them.
And you mentioned life management, which is great. But I feel that and I know you also offer this to the families, because the daughter can pick up the phone and say to you, you're all providing excellent care, but I'm still so frustrated because they don't seem to understand why I have help coming in. And I think it's being able to also almost provide life management for the family members as well, because they need the conversations, they need the reassurance, they need to know, hey, you're doing a great job. So it's almost like you're playing therapist to everyone, but they need this positive reinforcement that they are doing the best, we are doing the best, and together we are a circle of care and we're a team for your loved one.
Exactly. And also, too, is ensure them that, you're not taking their independence away from them. You're just providing the quality of life that they need with a little bit of assistance. Because, it could be dangerous. You don't want to end up in a nursing home. You don't want to end up in an assisted living if that's not what you want to do. You want to stay home. So I want to be able for you to stay home and enjoy your life, having the quality that you need and you deserve, and allow us to come here and visit you, spend time with you. Either you live locally, either you live in other states, that you don't have to worry about mom and dad, and there's somebody watching them. And I think this is such an incredible peace of mind for us, who has elderly parents. My mom is 80 years old, and she's in an assisted living.
It's a great gift to be able to give this back. Everything they have given to us, everything that they did to provide for us. And now we're giving it back to them by showing them our love and our gratitude for all you have done for me. Please let me now do the same for you.
Absolutely. And I think that this is, speaking to them, it's about them, right? It's about doing what's the best for them. And like I mentioned a couple of times, sometimes you're going to need the help of a professional. And you got to remember, no matter where you are in a country, you just type care management, geriatric care management, nurse navigator, and you will find someone. And if you can't find someone, sometimes it's just you're going to have to take mom to the doctor and have this conversation with the doctor and mom or dad, so again, like you mentioned before, sometimes they listen better to professionals than they listen to us.
That's true. And let the professionals do what they do. I told my mother this. I said, you go to the hair salon and get your hair done. Do you do it at home? No. Why? Because you'll ruin it, right? Because that's true. I said, I'm not a doctor. I can't pretend to be a doctor, but if we go to the doctor specializes in the care you need and they can help you. So allow the professionals to do their work.
Exactly. And I know that it's going to be hard for a lot of you that is listening with elder parents. You get frustrated. You don't know where to turn. You get overwhelmed. It's going to be hard. I understand that. But first of all, you're not alone. Second of all, it will be okay. Once everything is put in place, you will be fine and you will be relieved. And if you need us, we're just a phone call away. You can always send your email, any questions or anything for us to Senior Home Care Made Simple podcast@gmail.com. We are eager to help you, whatever you need. It's not going to be easy, but breathe, take a step back, it will be okay. At first, you're going to be freaking out. But don't freak out. There is help out there, and we are here to help you. Don't forget, any questions, any topics, anything you all want to talk about it, please send us an email to seniorcaremade.simple@gmail.com. Lucy, this was really awesome. I can't wait for us to do our next episode.
Looking forward to it. This was a great episode. Very insightful. Thank you.
Senior Care Made Simple, an elder care podcast, has been brought to you by Horizon Care Services, your private duty choice in home care in South Florida. For more information on acquiring home care assistance, visit horizoncareservices.com.